pretty important. Well, my nephew's
Don't
born.
choose now to stand up, Lee. I'm gonna do like captions and everything. I'm gonna be fancy.
He's going to run out of time and not do any of that.
Screw
Oh,
it.
welcome to Back to the Drawing Board, an architecture podcast hosted by me, Phil, a chartered architect from PWS Architecture Design, a residential practice in the north east of England, and this is my intern Theo.
Did you just give up on saying your full name there?
No, there's no point, no one can spell it. Facebook doesn't think it's a real surname.
Yeah, so this is our
It gets me every time!
yeah, so this is our Christmas episode. As you can tell from the snazzy Christmas.
I made a bit of an effort.
You made an effort. Well, I didn't think you had any, so I was like, oh, I'm not going to embarrass them and put in my over-the-top Christmas show. If you've got nothing, and here you are with a kind of Christmassy club there.
It's Iceland wear.
It's winter themed.
It is, well, it's Iceland wear, so it's made of like Icelandic sheep people.
You might sit down eventually.
Maybe this is
Just
it.
sit down.
This is actually, so this Christmas present guide for architects and architecture students is actually get a dog.
Get a dog. This is the first present.
Preferably not this dog, get
No.
that one who's asleep. She's not usually like that, it's him, it's the Joe's. Hello, what did I tell you?
In this episode, Phil's going to introduce my mind's frazzled.
So in this episode we're going to cover gift guides for architects and architecture students. Now these are a pretty rough guide and we've tried to avoid the really obvious things like Lego sets and generic books and just the things that I get every Christmas off everyone all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be
The things I'm looking forward to getting off everyone all the time.
Yeah, so this is, if you're listening, Hannah, who's my wife,
Grandma.
this is a list of things.
Who's my grandma?
She's not my grandma. I hope not. That'd be some Back to the Future
Very weird.
level weirdness. So, yeah, so these are kind of a rough guide. Whether or not you want to take our suggestion and find a different type of product, that's probably the route you'd likely go down, I think.
Yeah.
Some of these are going to be a bit more specific to our tastes as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, tailor it to your particular architect or architecture student's need. And yeah.
What's that? Burped and growled. So we're going to work this in a few sections. Even though one of the things we said was in the no-nos was stationery. The first section is stationery. We're going to go through also one of
It's
the
a bit more posh stationery though,
Posh,
rather than
stationery.
kind of your generics.
Yeah, because if you're looking at stationery on a budget, stop looking at stationery. Nobody wants budget stationery.
That's a good point.
I don't want 100 ballpoint pens that you bought for £1 from Poundland.
Oh, I'm gonna have to return them now.
that was the present.
Damn.
In fairness, I wouldn't mind a few, but I'll steal them myself.
They're up in the office if you want them.
I do.
Not the ballpoints.
One of the sections is for the library, which again is something we said we weren't going to cover, but we're not looking at books. For the desk, so things kind of while you're at work, you know, in the office
Or in the studio.
Honestly, you don't think I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for 5 episodes now, Phil.
6.
I've been doing this for 6 episodes now, Phil. Anyway, yeah, so one of the sections is for the desk, whether you're in the office or the studio. Things for away from the desk, so while you're not sitting down, maybe you're out on site, something like that, but it's still going to benefit your kind of your work life, I guess. Things for wearing, that's pretty self-explanatory. Tech, again, you can probably guess what that is. And for fun and giggles, that's not what it says in the notes page, let's change that. So there's just things which are just fun, like but not Lego sets. You know, things that people might just enjoy.
Yeah, there's kind of no price cap on that one, it's just a go out there a bit wild
A
suggestion.
new car.
No. Not quite.
So, yeah, we're looking at this Leuchtturm mechanical pencil, but you twist it, don't you, which is nice. It's 0.7mm, which people like.
It's good width.
It's good width. Shut up, you. You can buy, obviously you can get refills for it once it's out of lead, so you can keep reusing this nice pencil, which you want to do because it's about 25 quid. Obviously, I'd say you're not limited to this brand. There's other nice brands. Like, I don't know, you said this is a boring one, but everyone's kind of go-to average brand would be Winsor and Newton, because
Pentel, Faber-Castell,
yeah, kind of generic, nice art.
But this one's a bit more
fancy looking, and I'll try and get a picture of it up.
I'm going to say this one's a bit more. I know the one you're talking about, so these are all a surprise to each other. We don't actually know what the other one's about to suggest, really. So,
except from that one which you told me to put up.
Well, you're looking for something. But yeah, this one, you can get them, like they're just nicer colours and they're a bit different to the rest. And I think that's probably
worth talking
what
about.
makes it a nice gift, is that you probably haven't seen it before.
Yeah, so you're not going to look at it and go, oh, a pencil, a nice pencil, which sounds stupid. But yeah, it is nice. That's a simple one. Obviously, it's not exactly cheap, but if you're looking to go on a budget for stationery, I think I've already mentioned this. Don't buy stationery. No one wants it on a budget. Buy something nice. Yeah, that's my thing. So fire away.
So my choice for the stationery cupboard is in itself a stationery cupboard, in a way.
I've just opened the link. That's quite nice.
It is, isn't it? So what it is, what I've chosen, it's on Etsy. So I mean, we should probably mention this earlier, but any of these kind of gifts, if you can find a handmade local supplier or something along those lines, do pick them. Yeah. One, they're much higher quality, they're much more beautiful, and support local communities, which is probably the most important part. Yeah. Especially since, COVID and everything.
This one comes with AirPod Pros, isn't it?
Doesn't say not included on the link.
No, it doesn't.
I must do. It does say batteries not included. I'm just kidding, there's no batteries. So what I've picked is a pencil roll. This one's leather, it's reclaimed leather, and it can be personalised, and it comes in different forms. So you can pick different colours, but there are others on the market. So your best bet would be to at least do a little bit of observation on your architecture student on what they actually carry within their pencil case.
Yeah.
So for me, I have 3 or 4 pens and my Apple Pencil that I use all the time. And then after that, I've got a series of multicoloured pens which I use for a lot of diagramming, which is great, but would probably do better in a case rather than in a roll.
Yeah, so I've got 2 pencils, a pen and a 15 centimetre ruler. And then, so this is the pencil case I've got from you, and then, or the roll I've got from you, and then my my protractor and scalpel hidden in that little safety section.
Please, for the love of God, tell me you put like a bit of cork over the end of your scalpel.
Yeah, obviously. No, I've just jammed it in that very nice leather pencil case and hope for the best.
Well, I've got a very nice scar on one of my fingers from doing that. So.
What I'd say about this one is it has that strap over it, and the one I've got has a strap over. If it's got a big strap to fasten it, it can be quite hard to kind of tuck it away, so it can sometimes get in the way on your desk. Something with like...
Oh, I found you one with a magnet.
Yeah, it's something I've kind of whinged on about, even though it's still very nice. It's like, if you can get something with a button or just a little loop, that can be much nicer when you've actually got it open. But even then, like this one looks like you could probably just tuck it underneath.
Yeah.
It's definitely a nice little choice there.
Should probably mention we didn't do a price. So the price for the one that I've linked to is £38, but I mean you can get them considering a canvas one is going to be cheaper than a leather one. But I've personally got a thing.
We like leather things. So the next bit to move into would be things for the library.
This would be a personal library. Don't take these items and just leave them in your local
library. Yeah. As much as they might appreciate it, don't just drop this stuff around. So let's go for mine again. Again, mine's off Etsy. Etsy is a lovely place for personalised stuff.
Yeah, which is probably important around Christmas.
Yeah.
Birthdays.
Your architecture buddies will probably have a big handful of books, and so I've looked at this nice leather bookmark. It's got a little mountain ridge, Santon, but also has your initials, and it's a tenner. It's just a nice little thing. It's nothing too fancy or over the top. It's nothing too clever. It's just a nice little bookmark, which can really help. I know we were talking about it earlier, and all of ours are marked up with little post-it notes. Phil thinks that can damage his books if he leaves them on too long.
Which I do, because I have like 15 on the go that I'll just cite back to every now and again.
Mine are just weak, so sometimes I'll open it and it'll just fall away. And just having a nice proper bookmark, and even in your main one, can be nice. Or even if you get a collection of proper paper ones, something like that, it can be a really nice little thing to have.
So what I've chosen is it's off a website called Archi Expo, which I've never actually heard of before until now. But
trying to see all the pictures through the microphone.
So we've got a concrete bookend, and so it's not just a block of concrete; it's a little bit more ornamental. And the reason I picked that is because I quite like brutalist architecture, and I know someone at the table doesn't.
I'm getting into one specific architect who likes it.
Good.
Tado Ando is very good at it. A lot of people just make me want to jump off the building that I'm looking at.
So these are a bit more decorative. There's obviously alternatives. I've seen marble ones, I've seen concrete ones, I've seen all sorts, but I quite like the form of these. And I think
the thing which is intriguing me is the price, because it's just the contact information.
Yeah, so that is the one downside of the one that I've linked to. I've not quite seen another one like it, but when you go to find out the price, it does say upon inquiry, which means it's going to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just call a duck. This is going to be extortionate.
Yeah.
But really cool.
Very
I know a lot of places I've worked at have used, is it the Billy bookcase? What are they called?
I used to have a Dora the Explorer one.
No, I'm talking IKEA products. Anyway, so there's a Besta, is it? No, you can get ones that are boxes, and that's fine, you don't need a bookend. But then loads of places I worked at had shelves, and if you like jump too hard in the room, the shelves wobble and then all the books tumble off. So a bookend, I think, is actually really important, and it's quite cool.
I hate that sound so much.
Yeah, it goes right through me.
I've got a little like art pack that kind of, it's like this wooden big box that opens up, and then it's got like shelves with pencils in. Anyone who does art stuff probably has an idea of the thing I'm talking about, but Phil's looking at me as if to say no, Phil can't draw, so I don't care about his opinion in this situation.
That's fair.
And I just leave that open, and that's kind of my book stop. And then on the other side, my heaviest book is my book stop.
We used to have, in one of the older offices I used to work at, the guy used to fill empty cans of bottles with concrete, and then he just used those, because he was a bit weird.
In fairness, you probably could, because you can buy like modelling cement. If you're an artsy person, you
Make your own.
Make your own book
Cast
stop.
your own. Ooh.
Yeah.
Scrap everything we've said.
Ignore all of that. Make your own book stops.
Sorted.
My option for the desk is a nice moleskin A5 sketchbook with dots. Now I know you can get them from
Moleskin.
Lechtrum.
Leustrum?
Yeah.
What is it?
Lechtrum.
Leustrum. Oh, I'm not getting the video back up.
Get the 5-minute video on how to pronounce it. But yeah, we both used them, and it's just a little A5 sketchbook, which is really, I was doing it that way as if anyone could see it, not that big. And it's really handy for carrying around. I know a lot of my student friends have A4 ones, and they can be a bit clunky to carry around with you. You know, I've got a coat with a big like front pocket in it, and I could just jam it in there. Like it's
a kangaroo.
Yeah, literally like a little pouch. And it's like, actually it's small enough that it's really convenient to carry around, but not so small that you can't do anything of substance on it. You can still do all your site plans, all your drawings in. The dots mean you can get nice shapes on there, nice squares, and you can even do axonometric drawings if you want to. So a lot of them will just have lines, but that's not as good for drawing. That would make a good diary. But if you want an actual sketchbook, it's something worth checking with whoever you're buying it for though, because the chances are they'll have a sketchbook already. If you find an architect who doesn't have a sketchbook, that's shifty for sure.
I think a lot of them are digitising now though.
That's true. But yeah, this kind of this obviously specific type is very convenient to have as a sketchbook.
And the main thing is with those, the dots don't, when you scan the pages, the dots don't show.
Yeah.
Which is always handy. But yeah, I've always found A5's the right size. I mean, I've got like tiny but wide hands, so it's hard for me to hold an A4 pad whilst drawing, whereas an A5 I can still draw a full survey on.
I could, yeah, if I was, obviously if you work on bigger projects, you'd probably want a bigger one, but then if you're working on big enough projects, you'd probably be doing it digitally anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So my item for the desk is something that you wouldn't know about, and is a second monitor.
Oh, I love a second monitor.
Now I'm going to start where I always throw everything that I start when it comes to product recommendation for tech. The first thing on my list, because I've got a range.
What could it be, Phil?
Well, I think the first two are probably a bit more of a joke. No one's going to spend £4,500 on the Apple XDR. Yes, it's 5k and it's 4,000.
$4,500?
Yes. And that's before you add nano texture or a wall mount to it.
For a monitor?
It's mad. Yeah.
Hey.
Hence why I've put Just Kidding next to that.
Yeah.
The one neck down from that everyone seems to be banging on about is this Apple Studio display, but it's still £1,500.
You could get yourself a really nice laptop for $15.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing as well though, for that £1,500, you know, whatever, it's a nice one. You can get really high end from like Samsung or LG or whatever for like in the ballpark of 1,000 to 1,200.
Yeah.
So I know you can get like an LG or a Samsung or something for like around the £1,000 mark. That's probably, you know, quite close in spec or whatever. I know the Studio has this claim that it's got a processor and everything in it. I still haven't found a purpose for that if you've got a powerful enough computer.
If you're spending that much on a monitor, your laptop's probably pretty mega as well.
Yeah, I think those two are probably suggestions for people who have got mega books.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're probably more for the look than anything else.
Yeah.
Than they are for the functionality. So
I know it's certainly something like Grandma won't be getting for me.
So a more realistic suggestion for anyone who's a bit of an Apple snob, you can get refurbished Apple Thunderbolt displays, and they're 27 inches, and they come in at around the £400 mark. Alice. The refurbished Thunderbolt displays you can get around like the £400 mark. So obviously you'll probably be able to get ones cheaper, but
For
it might
Apple?
not be as nice. Yeah.
I wasn't.
So they don't make them. So it's an Apple Thunderbolt display. They don't make them anymore. So you've got to buy them second-hand or refurbished.
I know what your answer's going to be, but is it still a decent display?
Yeah, it's still like 4K bells and whistles. Apparently the speakers on them are really good, but if you're using headphones or if you're in an office, you're probably not using speakers. You're probably using headphones. Same with the Studio, to be honest. Otherwise, everyone's with blasting everything.
Yeah.
But the alternatives that everyone seems to keep talking to me about are LG Ultrafine. I don't know if that's just because it's an unreasonably good value for money product, but everyone seems to mention the Ultrafines because it's 4K and all that stuff. But I mean, even they're coming in at prices around, I think it's somewhere around like the £400 or £600 mark anyway.
Which is still significantly better than £1.5 grand.
But they're all 4K, whereas my monitor upstairs, my spare one, isn't 4K. It's just like a standard. I think it's 1080p or 720 or something, because I use the big iMac screen on my MacBook screen. I'll use that for
details,
all the nice bits, and then on the side I'll probably have like reference material or the calculations from the engineer or whatever. So I suppose it depends on what you needed to do, but for me, I'm going to get a Thunderbolt, I think. Now, after doing research on this, I'm probably going to get the Thunderbolt because it's an Apple product, so it fits all of that criteria. It's 4K, it's got all of the bells and whistles that I'm looking for, but it's a really good price. I think, you can get a 720 or a 1080p screen you probably get for a couple of £100. So it's a good second screen. Or when I'm working here, I use my iPad Pro that we're recording on.
Yeah.
So if you've got one, use one.
So yeah, I thought I said far away from the desk. How far do we have to go for this present to be viable? So the thing I've gone for here is a laser measure, and I haven't been specific on the brand because there is such a wide range, and it can depend greatly on actually who you're buying for can determine the function they need. So I was talking to Phil, weirdly.
It's probably more student related. Most practicing architects would probably have one. Yeah.
So, but I know for a fact, I'm the only one in our studio who's got one because Phil got me one. Which seems to be the case.
No, you stole one, that's different.
Oh yeah, sorry.
You've never brought it back.
You told me I could steal it. Maybe 2 years ago. I paid attention to that.
For once.
Once. A laser measure could be really good for a student because it's, even if it's not an expensive one, just as a starter thing, and it's really, really handy not having to use a tape measure to go around everywhere, just being able to stand on one side of the room, point your laser, boop, and it's sorted. Obviously you can't measure up to a distance. It's better for measuring from one point to the other. With a tape measure, you can go, okay, I want something to be 2 meters. How far is it? It's that far.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a survey, it's really, really useful, and it makes life so much quicker. And you don't need like someone else to hold the other end of your tape.
Yeah, the dummy end.
Yeah. You don't need to make sure it's like stretched out, or if it's windy for some reason and twisted around, you just point and shoot. So it's unbelievably useful.
Yeah, I mean, I've just got a survey in for this place, done by someone else, and I copied all the point cloud for the topography, and I took what they'd done for the outline of the house, copy and pasted it over the outline of the house I generated from my laser. So his is like points, nanometer accurate. Mine's just winging a prayer with a laser measurer, and it's pretty much on the money. Yeah. So like, I think it's invaluable. I mean, I've done surveys with my old bosses where we'd use a tape measure, and you have one person on the dummy end, one person on the normal end, and then you're shouting at either a third person or one of the two people going, "Oh, we're draw it out."
Whereas if it's just you can go and you can.
I can survey a whole house by myself.
Yeah. You just go boop, 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 boop. What was that one you were saying you were wanting to get in?
You can also
the
use
point where you're like raking in the money designing skyscrapers, even though we never do that. It was the one where you just put it in the middle of the room and it just goes.
Yeah, there's like a point cloud. It's like a point cloud mapper, but you can get ones. There's all sorts of ones that do it, but it basically generates a set of points and then knows what's solid and what's not, turns it into a room, and then you just cut your sections so you can trace it on a card or something, or I think you can upload it directly into like SketchUp and Revit and all the 3D softwares, cool. Which I think is really cool. It's something I'm definitely looking into at some point, but they're very expensive. Very expensive.
Give us an estimate.
I was looking at one that was about 12 grand. Yeah. I'd have to do a lot of surveys for it to make up its money.
You could get a lot of
interns.
You could get infinite interns for that amount.
Yeah, if you
don't pay them.
So my choice for Away from the Desk is actually a product I actually own. Although I say I own it, I stole it from Hannah. So she bought it for herself, and I've realised it's a really good idea. So now I have a Clean Canteen 500 milliliter insulated tumbler. And so
sounds like a new laptop.
So they come in like a range of colours. It's dual walled. It's
what's the U value?
God knows. Well, it's only air insulated, or is it vacuum insulated?
You'd think
it's vacuum insulated.
That makes sense.
The spec. So they come in a range of colours. You can get other kind of versions of it. So they do a smaller one. This is the biggest one. You can also get interchangeable lids. So there's the straw lid, which Hannah uses all the time, and then I've got the tumbler lid, which is kind of like a sippy cup type. It's got a hole in it for air and a hole in it for your mouth. And that's what I drink my coffee out of pretty much all day, every day. Anyone who's watched the episodes that we've done over Zoom,
you'll see that, yeah, you'll see it.
You'll see me drinking from it instead of these dashing black numbers we got from Next.
Speaking of which, if you're going to buy someone a mug, don't get them a silly mug. Okay, for a start, mugs aren't great gifts, but if you're going to buy them a mug, buy them a nice one.
Yeah, the benefit of this one is it stays hot for 4 hours.
That's a travel cup,
Yeah, so if I make a coffee in the office, I go to a meeting, I come out of the meeting, I've got a hot coffee. That's if no one's offered me one in the meeting, which is very rare.
Buy them something nice, maybe even a collection, maybe a couple of them. Something that kind of fits like them, their personality, their style, their kitchen or their office or their studio. Make sure it fits with them, and it's not just a random cut that you've seen and go, oh, I like that, and then actually it's your style and not theirs. Unless they're like, probably like nerdy for you and like you're their wife or something, in which case they've got to say, oh, thank you, or like you're their son, and then it says world best dad, and they go, I'm not though.
No, I'm okay at best.
I'll take the mediocre.
So so they do other products as well whilst you're on there.
Something I forgot to mention about mine with the laser measure is the prices can range from like 20 quid up to about 250 from what I saw. So there's a lot of
it depends on the nuances of what you want and the distances it'll cover. I
would say do your research if that's what you're going for, because there is a massive range of what you can get.
I mean, I use my...
Back to mugs.
I use my Clean Canteen for like everything, but you can get different ones that'll hold like up to 2 litres, which is obviously great for water when you're out and about, but most of the time...
That's great for coffee.
Yeah.
2 litres of coffee.
1 coffee for Phil. But yeah, like I said, they come in a range of colours and styles, and they can be personalised. And there are other brands. So I know Fellow do a really good, nice matte black one, and they have the 360-degree lid on it and stuff.
300.
So it's like, if you imagine, in fact, I've got one.
Oh no, I know the one you mean. I know the one you mean. I've used it before. Yeah, so you don't have to, because on the little sippy ones you got to make sure you get the right bit. But on that, it's like
the way to do it with the sippy lid is it's got a little lump on the back. So if you have your finger there on the lump, you know that your mouth's on the other side.
Usually what I do is I look at the cup and then...
Oh, yeah, but if I'm doing it whilst I'm driving, which obviously I don't do because that would be illegal and inadvisable. But then I use... yeah, this is the other one I bought ages ago, which is the R cup, which is made of recycled plastic. But that's got the 360
It's a very weird texture, but yeah, it's a cool
If you press that, it releases all the liquid. Obviously there's nothing in this one, but it releases all the liquid. But
look at it.
So it's 360 degrees, and usually you can just do it with your nose whilst you've got a big nose like me, works fine. So that's an alternative product.
That's a thing.
But they also have, at the moment, a student discount of 15%. So it costs £23 anyway, which is a reasonable cost. So you can have it on the student discount for £19.55. There you go, less than 20 quid for a cup that I've been using now for about 4 years.
Yeah. So for our next section, for wearing. Now I've got a pair of slippers at home. They're by a brand called Shepherd, which are definitely from the Netherlands. I don't have too much information about them, although I could get some.
I'm wearing Crocs.
Yeah.
With a lovely fleece lining.
They're a pair of sheepskin slippers. They look like slippers. Let's not lie. But they're leather, so they don't necessarily look unprofessional. I think the theme here is most of our products are made of leather.
I'm noticing a theme here. Sorry, vegans.
Yeah. Oh, you could probably get vegan leather, so that's fine.
Yeah.
My dogs are vegan. No, not these ones. Never mind. Although I do have some vegan leather shoes, but that's a whole other tangent. Sheepskin slippers. These ones by Shepherd. They're very comfortable. They look semi-professional, so you could wear them in the office and not just look like you're kind of lounging around. But obviously, if you're spending your whole day in the office, maybe it's a bit chilly because you're based inside of a big, freezing cold room, and your boss refuses to clear out the fireplace, something like that. You can have your slippers on, be nice and comfortable. Yeah. You could even go for sheepskin boots, which means you could go out and about in them, but they won't look very professional. But yeah, these ones...
It's making yourself comfortable in the office.
Yeah, it's making yourself comfortable, which would be really good on an episode maybe we've done previously about well-being within the office.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, well, it's not too much to say about them. They're nice slippers. They're about 50 quid, and I would highly recommend them. I've had them for about 2 years. I've worn them basically every single day, and they're finally starting to come to the end of their life. So 2 years of like non-stop use.
And you are big and heavy-footed.
Yeah, I'm not exactly light on my feet. People know when I'm coming from like a mile away.
Well, the dogs knew you were coming down the path.
Yeah. In fairness, in these, I'm not surprised. They probably heard me standing all the way from Glasgow. Hello, hey, gorgeous. Yeah, so I'd highly recommend them. They're incredibly comfortable, especially living in a cold area of the world. If you live in somewhere hot, maybe just get a pair of Crocs.
So yeah, it's funny you say that because I worked in a practice a long time ago where we didn't necessarily have to, but there was kind of like a no shoes policy. So I think it was run by a Japanese guy, and I think their policy is when you come into their house, you take your shoes off outside. Yeah. And they had a selection of slippers by the door, and I've been to client meetings.
What, like communal slippers?
Yeah.
And so keep your socks on.
Yeah, so I think you got like a selection of certain sizes and you just wore them. But I mean, I've been to people's houses before where they've like handed me, usually kind of people of other backgrounds, and they'll hand you a set of flip-flops or something and say, oh, can you just wear these around the house? Or whenever you go to someone's house to do a survey, I always ask, do you need me to take my shoes? Do you want me to take my shoes off? For when I go onto carpet areas or whatever. It might be nice to carry them with you for surveys to slip on and off. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's a really good idea actually. Yeah. And now mine's going to look awful by comparison, and I feel quite sad.
Finally. So, because I've been putting some effort in for this one specifically.
I've got 2 suggestions.
No, in fairness, that's quite cool. What?
Well, I've got 1 suggestion in 2 separate styles. I think that's probably the better way of describing it.
Yeah.
So mine is a bag, because I think a good bag is one of the best things. So for a long time, I used to take things like to and from the office in just like a little carry-on bag, or I'd take like my laptop would be in that bag, and then all of my pens and everything else would then, or a drink would then go in like an Asda bag that I'd be carrying into the office, all my food or whatever. So I found like having a good sized bag and one that's durable and one that looks nice, because when you turn up at someone's door to sell them your skills and your services, you kind of want to look that complete package. Like I've got a leather grey one that Hannah got me for 1 year in business from Mulberry.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Oh, that's not something to afford 1 year into a business.
Exactly. So one of the ones I've picked is it's called an Arrow bag. It's 100% recycled as well, which I think is pretty important.
That's staying.
And yeah, go in your bed. So the first bag I've picked, if you prefer a rucksack type bag, is from a company called Covered, spelled with a K, and it's the Arrow bag, 100% recycled roll top backpack. Now it's big enough to fit your 16-inch MacBooks in, because of course I'm going to pick
or Windows.
MacBook.
Could be your PC.
Could be.
Point is, it can fit in a 16-inch laptop.
It's got a 24-litre capacity. It's pretty big. It's water repellent. It's
so if you want to drink 24 litres of water, you can pour it straight.
You just pour it straight in, yeah. So, and it's got exterior pockets, including things like, a padded laptop compartment. It's got a bottle carrying sort of pouch on it. So it's kind of it's got all bases covered. And I think when you...
What was the roll bit for? Because I think I got it up there. I said it came up with a 404, but I went back on the normal page and it had a little like...
What do you mean? It's just the top of it rolls instead of like falling over, and then it still clips on. And then
okay, it's like that.
So I've got a big rucksack that I used, which is leather and canvas, from when I went round Scandinavia for my dissertation. But
I'd quite like
for work, I actually use more of a messenger bag style. So it's like interlude on our side, but the alternative to the big backpack is I've chosen a messenger bag, which I prefer. I don't know why, I just do prefer messenger bags. Don't think I need a backpack.
Indiana Jones.
Seems a bit overkill. Yeah, because I think I'm Harrison Ford. Not Harrison Ford. Yeah, Harrison Ford. Yes, Harrison Ford.
You're right there, Phil.
Yeah. So this one is the Medway waxed canvas messenger bag with reclaimed leather. Comes at a price tag of about 90 quid, but it looks really nice, and I think it's one of those things where you pay for the high quality. I mean, all my canvas and leather stuff seems to last me forever. You don't get as much space in it though, only 8 litres versus I think it was like 24, but it still fits your 16-inch MacBook Pro, and not the Windows alternative. It's got magnetic latches, it's bells and whistles, it does everything I think it needs to do. The only thing it doesn't have, but the other one had, is a cup holder in the side of it. But 9 out of 10 times I usually carry my cup anyway.
Well, what I think is so I'll often take my coffee and then I'll have a flask in my backpack as well of water. So I think it's quite nice for having your water.
I'm looking at the image on the website and they've got a cup inside the bag, and it's a clean canteen with a twist lid. So you can fit a cup inside it apparently, but I don't think I've ever carried a cup inside a bag. I suppose you'd have to have a ceiling one.
I think it's quite nice having a with you as well, so you can have your water and you can have coffee. So when you realise you've had way too much coffee, you can just whip your flask out and have
too
some
much
water.
Coffee.
When you've had no water in the day and only coffee. There's water in coffee.
What you're saying?
Unless you're having lattes.
Yeah, and then it's still got water in it.
Then it's your fault.
You should be ashamed. So yeah.
Next it's tech.
Cool.
I'm intrigued to see what you've done for this. And I have a lot to talk about here. People like music. I'm a bit of I wouldn't say I'm an audiophile, but
You'd be amazed how many people, when I was in the studio, did not have headphones and just didn't listen to music.
Were there a lot of them who, wanted it, but didn't buy it?
No, they just use the speakers.
Oh, right.
Heathens. Filthy, grubby heathens.
So they wanted to listen to music, but they didn't have headphones.
Yeah.
Which
is ridiculous.
There is a range depending on your budget, and I'm going on kind of nice headphones, not buying crap, but my range is £200 to £550. That's my starting point. If you're going to spend less than that, they'll buy their own headphones.
Yeah.
But starting off at the cheapest.
So have you picked headphones as in over ear, overhead?
Overhead. Most of these have noise cancelling,
Yeah.
so you can't hear what's going on. I personally think that's a really good feature.
Yeah.
I know you agree there. I think a lot of people, I know my dad doesn't like noise cancelling. He likes open backed headphones, so that sound can come in and it feels like you're in an ambient area without having to add any extra tech to do that. But that's really annoying for other people because they also have to hear your music because it's essentially just two speakers taped to your ears.
Well, that's why I like the transparency mode online, because it sounds like that, but no one else hears it.
Yeah.
So you get the 3D soundscape without having to deal with everyone else going, "What are you like? That's a lot very loud."
Imagine being able to do that for £500 less.
Well, no, £300 less.
It's a completely different pair of headphones, I think.
So
but,
the main reason, the main reason that I used my AirPod Maxes over, I've got AirPod, whatever they're called, Pro. No, I use my AirPod. Yeah, over my AirPod Pro.
Headphones over earbuds.
Yeah, is because after 20 hours of sitting at a desk, your ears hurt having something jammed in there for that long.
Comfort makes a difference.
Yeah, so that's why I have those as well as the other headphones, and then I've got my other ones for the gym. So
just to start with the actual list, so you've got context. My list is the Sony XM3, 4 or 5.
Oh, I'm sure that rolls off the tongue nicely.
Yeah, and then you've got the WH-1000 to add on the end of it, which is annoying. The Bose noise cancelling 700s, the Bose Quiet Comfort 45s, or the Apple AirPod Max. Now, in order of price, you've got your Quiet Comfort 45s, your Sony XM3s, then it's your Sony XM4s, your Bose noise cancelling 700, your Sony XM5, and then the AirPod Max. And there is a massive leap from the noise cancelling 700 to the AirPod Max of £280 and then £550. The AirPod Max was so expensive, and in my opinion, the only reason you could justify getting them over the others is because you're an absolute nerd for Apple.
Can I just
if you've got a business account.
No, it's not even through the business account. That's just through normal Amazon.
I'm amazed you found that.
At the moment, you can buy.
But you
have to buy them in space grey. That's the caveat, which is the right colour to buy everything in Apple from.
Now, in my opinion,
for £345, which is still more expensive than the others, but
in my
makes
opinion,
them more reasonable.
Yeah, the best option, and the ones that I've got, would be the XM4s, the Sony ones, which are £250. They've got arguably the best noise cancelling capabilities. You can connect to 2 Bluetooth devices at once, which is really important, and only 3 of these can do that. It's the 4s, the 5s, and the AirPod Max. The XM3 and the Quiet Comfort are both very...
The two Bose.
They're the cheapest. No, it's the Sony ones and the Bose ones. They're the cheapest too. I think you can get the Quiet Comforts for a lot cheaper actually, and they're really good quality. But the XM3s are very similar to the XM4s, but like £50 less.
So what's the difference between 3, 4 and 5?
4 and 5 can both connect to 2 Bluetooth devices. 3 can't.
Right, because with my AirPods, I can connect to every Apple device in the house, and if I'm listening on my laptop, I can pick up from my phone using the headphones. Yeah, it's trippy.
Yeah. So the AirPod Max can also connect to 2 devices at once. They're the only 3 which can do that. The 5 is a completely different build, and apparently they've taken a bit of a dip because they've tried to copy the Max and the Bose design a bit more, even though they had a really good thing going. It was a bit of kind of...
Shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they kind of went from, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, to it's not broke, so we're going to do something completely different that we're not used to doing.
Yeah, they do, you're right, they look like...
Yeah.
And the problem is, because they look like knockoffs, everyone's going to see them as knockoffs.
The case is less chunky. The
AirPod case is the most ridiculous thing. It's the worst piece of design I have seen from Apple ever.
It's not a case, it's a wrap.
It looks like a bra.
The XM3 and 4 have the best case because they're the most compact. In fact, no, I think the Quiet Comfort is the most compact, but I'd say it's the least quality. The noise cancelling 700s and the AirPod Max, I would say, are the most comfortable over your ears, and you can sit with them for the most amount of time because they're just bigger. I've got big ears, and and those ones just don't touch my ears. And I think the 5s are meant to be like that as well.
I would quite happily fight you to the death on this. I've just googled them all. the AirPod Maxes definitely look the best. I will fight you to the death. I will.
Have you looked for the 700?
Which one? Sorry, the Bose ones.
Noise cancelling 700, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing against you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I like. So I don't know. There's something a bit weird about them. I don't like the cups.
Yeah.
But if I was to pick one that wasn't the Apple based on looks, it would be the Apple knockoffs from Sony.
Check the XM5.
Yeah,
the XM4 in grey. Because it's the only thing I wish about mine is I wish I had the grey ones.
I'll tell you, Mum, you said that.
I've told them.
Because we had like a long conversation about what to get you for your birthday.
No, I told them. I was like, I really like it. I kind of wish it was grey.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Just seem a bit clunky, but
they're very bulky looking, but they've got like a lot of tech in them.
Yeah, which is probably why they're bulky.
Yeah, what I would say as well is look for actual reviews on these things.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I think again, it's similar with the Apple thing. That's quite subjective. If you don't have any other Apple products, yes, you can connect multiple things via Bluetooth, but like the convenience of me being able to move from one room to the other and then my headphones connecting between them to the different devices.
Yeah, so is
probably not going to help you if you've got everything else by Samsung.
Yeah. That's another thing as well. The connecting to two Bluetooth devices at once thing only works on Apple devices. So obviously the Sony one still does it, but only with Apple, because Windows Tech doesn't have that capability on Bluetooth. So it's something you don't get with your Sonys if you're using like Windows PCs. It only works if it's like a Mac and an iPad and an iPhone. But yeah, those are kind of the range I suggest, and they're like mid-high end to high end.
Yeah.
Well, they're not like basic headphones.
You can go way over the top on your price. Like there's £1,000+ ones, but then we're like
these are like standard
quality.
Yeah, these are like standard on the market kind of good everyday headphones. And I'd say if you're using it for the gym, get earbuds.
Yeah, earbuds for the gym for the logo. Otherwise, you end up looking like Cyclops from X-Men.
I've done it before. I've been on the bench with mine before. I'm actually gonna have to put it over my eyes to do this. This is gonna look ridiculous.
When I used to do it all the time, I used to have those ones, and then when I used to deadlift, as soon as I hit the ground, it went and it hit the bridge of my nose, and it really hurt. Yeah. So then I got those in-ear ones that fell out every time. Yeah. And now I've got Jabber in-ear ones that never fall out.
So that was a good way to have like half an hour to this 10-minute video.
Yeah. Start talking about things we're passionate about. We'll be fine.
Yeah. So
my suggestion for tech, and I mentioned
boring.
Mine goes back to like happiness and well-being. But my suggestion is something we mentioned in the last episode, which is that Breathe air purifier. Mm-hmm. See, I was going to do headphones, but then I knew
I'd have
you would do headphones. So there was I don't mind if we'd surprised each other with the same thing, but when I know it's what you're going to pick, so this means you can't pick it next year though.
There'll be new headphones out.
So what I've picked is Breathe, BRIIV, and it's an air purifier made of natural materials, and it's actually quite nice to look at. So it's got like a lot of greenery to it because it's made with reindeer moss and all this stuff, and it claims that it can clear out a living space in an hour.
It smells that bad.
Yeah.
I can do that in about 5 seconds if I eat the right food the day before.
Yeah, I know. I'm very aware. Yeah, it's like an open terrarium with a fan built in. And
it's open?
Some other it's just like the glass thing on top has a big hole in the top of it to suck air in. Okay. So then it pushes air out the sides. But the top layer is like moss, the second one's coconut, and then it's like what they call a matrix filter. What the hell that means. And at the bottom is activated carbon within like a silk mesh. So it's really good. I mean,
it looks nice as well.
You buy kind of the kits for it. That's what drew me to it.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for air purifiers, and I realised that this is actually beautiful.
Do you reckon you're going to get one?
Yeah, it's on my list. But this is the problem, they're £300. Well, I say a problem, there are more expensive air purifiers, but for £300 a pop.
I'm shuddering at these prices, even though they're like the prices I'm recommending as well.
Well, one of them is the equivalent of having, I think it's 3,000 houseplants or something like that. I think it says on the website somewhere, which is...
It's a lot of houseplants.
It's a lot of houseplants, and I would kill... If I had 3,000 houseplants, I would have 3,000 dead houseplants. So having this, and I think you replace the filters once a year.
Yeah, but buying 3,000 houseplants can't be expensive.
Yeah, well, yeah.
If they're already dead.
Yeah, well, if they're already dead, yeah. So for me, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer for me. It's the air purification, you cover your terrarium in green space, mental well-being, XYZ, and it's recyclable, biodegradable, all the filters are, so you're not worried about the kind of putting all the plastic in landfill. to me, makes a lot of sense, and you know, I can't see why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
If you've got £300, but that's probably a gift you would buy the entire office.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to put it in the studio. It's probably more of an office thing, unless you're using like a home studio.
Especially if there's some smelly people working in that office.
Yeah. So if you're gonna, you probably want one in your room. To be fair.
I quite like one.
Yeah. So.
But the bag's very appealing to me.
No.
I saw that.
I was looking for the bag that came with the brief, and I was like, what the fuck?
No, I saw that leather bag and I was like, that's quite nice. Because mine's really efficient, but not like. I mean, look at it. It's a clunky little thing. It's a clunky big thing even.
A full house, so you can buy a full house pack from them, which has 4.
How much is it?
I'm getting to that. Give me a minute. See the. Oh my god. Holy. Right, so I can buy it for 3. So the £300 is where you would get it from John Lewis. There are cheaper places to get it. If you buy it from their website, you can buy a full house pack, right? For £1,316.
Oh,
yeah, that's it.
But you could buy 4 by themselves for less, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, you can from if you get them from somewhere else, which I find a bit odd. But so, there you go, I found it. So you get the purifier. You get 4 of them in the home pack. I don't know why you bother that.
It looks like a speaker.
It looks like my HomePod, doesn't it?
Yeah. That was something I was thinking of as well. Is it like a Sonos one?
Yeah, I looked into that when I decided I wasn't going to do headphones. I looked at HomePods and speakers even.
Yeah.
And obviously the top recommendation is going to be a HomePod because you can buy the HomePod minis for £100.
Sonos is really good because of the fact that they connect. So if you've got multiple rooms and you're wanting to listen to the same thing, this is.
Have you used Apple Home?
Hmm?
Apple Home.
You're gonna have to add more context to what you've just said.
I can have Apple TV, HomePods in every single room, and I can control them all from
yeah,
outside.
if you're not an Apple nerd,
oh well, why wouldn't you be?
then you can use Sonos, and the whole Sonos system connects.
Yeah.
So you can have them all. You can have all these speakers in different rooms and connect that way, and then they can all. So if you have like a party, that's great. But yeah, within the office, it's a really cool thing where everyone can connect to the speakers. Sonos is a really good speakers as well.
That's what we used to have it.
Yeah.
The old place.
Yeah, so if you want something for the office where everyone's listening to music, or you've just got the radio on in the background, but you want good quality, that would be my personal recommendation.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going HomePod because Apple.
Yeah. Well, I think the Mini's great for £100.
Yeah, that's just a little on the table.
Yeah, I've got one in the office.
Yeah.
Because that one no one can see.
Everyone, that one over there.
That one's the big Mac. That's like the original one. And then
Yeah.
I've got a Mini in the office, and then Hannah's got a couple of Minis. But yeah, we used to have a Sonos, and we had so you would set the playlist up so people would just add things to the queue, which was great on a day when I was in a good mood because I listened to similar music to everyone else. But if it was a day where I was like head down, it was all EDM and dark wave and death metal, which so
I had some German techno on the other day when I was trying to get a draft done. Yeah.
But yeah, the purifier,
weird as hell.
the bits that are in it last a year, so you only have to spend £30 a year to maintain it. You don't have to water it, and it costs £2.02 a year apparently.
Wait, do you have to replace the moss?
Yeah, so every 12 months you replace the moss filter, I can't pronounce that word, coconut coir, COIR fibre filter, and then it's got a silk matrix which lasts for 3 months each, but I think you get multiple of those, so you get like 4 of them in a pack.
Because £30 a year to maintain it sounds like a bit of a tax. So if you're buying someone a present and then saying, by the way, you've got to spend more money on this to keep it going. So it might be, as you say, it might be a really good one for the office.
I hadn't thought of that. That's a very, very good point.
Yeah, if you're like the director and you're actually this is a really good one, just to benefit everyone in the office. Maybe not a direct present, but a present to people, kind of. Yeah. Then you're the one maintaining it, so you're the one still continuing to pay it. But if you get it for a person and then go, you do have to spend more money on this for it. Like if you got that for me, it would be dead in the year because I wouldn't be spending £30 a year to fix it. I can buy
you one as a gift set, which comes as one Breve with a year's worth of mosses and that, and then I pay a subscription for you to receive new filters every year.
Okay.
So that's a clever way around it that they've done, but then you're screwing yourself for £30 a year. Well,
yeah,
actually,
until they decide they don't want it anymore or forever.
Yeah, or it breaks, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, it does have a lifetime warranty on it, but Anyway.
So once you've paid enough money, you can sneak into the house, smash it. And go, oh no! I'll have to get my money back.
Yeah.
So this one is just for fun. Just things. They're not necessarily a specific purpose, but like things that as an architect people might want.
I think this one's probably. Well, I know mine in particular is quite expensive, and it probably.
I think mine's about a tenner.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah.
Phil's gone for a G-Wagon.
It's clad in gold. So I mean, I had in my head this for fun section was going to be a kind of like a wild card, a bit out there present.
What do you mean page not found? You literally just found the page.
I mean, in the past I've bought people very expensive gifts before that are less than this.
Holy sh!
Yeah. So that's in euros.
It's in dollars, so that's like 20 quid.
Right, yeah. So I'll let you start, and then we'll soften. We'll start with the soft blow, and we'll move into the absolute beast.
Yeah, I kind of did a bit of, and now my tongue tickles. Oh, it's actually a lot more expensive than I was expecting for what it is. You can probably find it cheaper on like Etsy. This is Fred and Friends C8 Obsessive Chef Cutting Board, which is a bit of a mouthful for a chopping board with a cutting board design on it. It looks very, very cool, and obviously, so it's got the cutting board.
Sorry, just the link that you've put on. Look at the other product next to it.
Is it like a tenner?
No. So you know, there's the.
It's a saw.
It's a cheese.
Oh, it's a pizza cutter.
No, it's a cheese. It's a cheese knife with a mouse on it that hides inside a little hole.
The
nibbled thing. This. It's a cheese board with a cheese knife.
That's pretty cool.
And the handle looks like a mouse.
My next thing is you know the disc saws. That's true.
Circular saw.
See that one?
Oh right, yeah.
But it's a pizza cutter. Anyway, yeah, it's a chopping board that looks like a cutting board, and I really like chefing, so that I saw that and I was like, I want that.
That's an episode in itself, really.
What the
architect's hobbies?
Yeah. And as far as we can tell, it's fairly common hobby. Like not everyone likes it.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's a people pleasing thing.
What do you mean?
So you know how like when we do drawings, we do designs.
Cooking for people is like people pleasing. Designing for people is like people pleasing.
It's kind of like
we are desperate for attention.
Hence the podcast.
We are. Yeah.
Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there'll be a picture of it up. You'll see it.
I'm totally getting that cheese board with the mouse.
For me, actually no, I can't. I can afford the £2 block of 5 kilos of cheese.
Asda's special.
Aldi's worstest. But it says in here it's like $50, which is about what, 5 quid.
So you've got it. You've not even got it from Amazon.com. You've got it from Amazon Canada.
That's what the CA is for.
Oh man. Alright, I'm going to go on Amazon and find what it is in the UK.
How much is it?
Can't find it. Can't find it in the UK.
Maybe it's on Etsy. But like,
yeah,
it's really cool.
There'll be somewhere. Because it's one of those.
I want it. Very expensive bare hand.
Speak of very expensive, the item I chose for fun section.
We really went different on this one.
Yeah, we totally went to. We should have really had a chat about these.
The prices.
So the one I've gone for is a Snapmaker 2.0 modular 3-in-1 3D printer with enclosure. So if you buy the 3-in-1, so it does 3D printing, CNC and laser cutting, you can also get the rotary bundle and an enclosure for a grand total of...
Oh, for a second I thought that was the price, but no, it's much more, isn't it?
Oh god, it is €2,245.
Which again is about £100.
In GBP. So I bought one of these a couple of years ago, which... well, it's still in the box, but...
Can I have it?
No, I used it before.
I used it once.
Before we moved, I used it quite a lot.
I used it once, I need it.
It's one of those that I'll be using again once I get back. So that's the best part of £1,900. So £1,900. Now this is probably a very lavish gift, and again, maybe something that you get for the office, or maybe your parents get for you, or just something along those lines. If they're
if
feeling
you've got
generous.
rich millionaire parents.
Look at me. My parents would never buy me anything like that.
I think breathing the words, even thinking about it, they probably start laughing.
Yeah, good point. Mine would have definitely just slapped some sense in me. But yeah, if someone's willing to spend that much on you, if it's an investment you want to make on yourself, it's an investment you want to make with your business partner, and or if for your office itself, probably it's a really cool thing, and it doesn't take up much space because it's 3-in-1. It's really simple to put together, and I've really enjoyed using it.
If you need a tax break, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Christmas is around April. Yeah, if you need if you know that things are going well, you need the tax break, do it then. But yeah, I think it's a great product. Whether or not you want to shell out for that, you can get the smaller version. You can get one that does less things. Obviously, the one I had included on the links.
Even if I went into my overdraft, I couldn't afford that.
Your overdraft is pathetic.
Don't have to pay it back for 7 years.
Oh, they've got a Black Friday sale on.
Now only £1,500.
Now only £1,899.99. Yeah.
In fairness, it's still only 300 quid more than the monitor you were suggesting. Well, not suggesting, but pointing out.
No, I literally said no to that monitor.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You can buy it for 1,500 quid. Euros. So that's €1,000 off. Oh, they have a Wheel of Fortune going on. Available on November 8th only. Well, why is it on your website still?
So that you go back on November 8th. Oh wait, what day is it?
November 20th. It's gonna be waiting a while to use that one, kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got like various other products on there. You can get the smaller, you can get the 1.0, you can buy the original ones, you can buy other things that are very similar. I just know that the Snapmaker I found to be really good quality, really liked it. The interface works really well. I never had any issues with it. That's why I'm suggesting it. There are alternatives.
Yeah. Very good.
So, I've got you a Christmas present.
Phil.
I have plans for more, but I forgot you were coming this weekend, not next. I haven't wrapped it.
Should I close my eyes? I've already closed them.
You can open your eyes. I couldn't. Do you know you sent me the link to it the other day?
Oh, that's so funny.
I bought that about 2 months ago.
That's really funny.
It came up as a targeted ad on my Instagram.
You sent a picture of it, and I assumed it was for you.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't even click that.
I had no fear in sending you a picture of me having
the
that
exact thing
because I knew you would go, "We spot that for himself."
Oh, that's funny.
So now you're gonna wake up every day to some brutalism.
Now I've got to use a calendar.
Yeah, well, you can write on it when you're actually coming down and let me know in advance.
You know for a fact I'm not that organised.
And you know for a fact I'm not that organised. Okay, you close out.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to. I'm not your boss. Thanks for joining us. That was the episode. It was number 6.
Yes.
I'm trying to spice things up by doing a bit different. If you're listening on any podcasting platform, please consider leaving us a review. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, and smash that subscribe button.
Turn on the bell.
Yeah, ring that bell, ding, ding, ding. Yes, the other thing, follow us on Instagram at Back to the Drawing Board IG. And if you would consider subscribing to our Patreon, where you get bonus content, and hopefully we can start ourselves a little community going, that would be great. I mean, absolutely fantastic. Quite frankly, I'd appreciate it, and I know Phil would as well. We could get at least one supporter. That'd be a good start. We do have one supporter. Have we got a supporter? Yeah, it's me. Oh, I was going to say, why am I not getting any money from this? How much do you pay yourself a month? Like what? £1? On the Patreon? Oh yeah, it's not that expensive. It's please, £1. At least have a look. So the student version's £1. It makes a difference to us. Yeah, wouldn't it? I'm going to go on patreon.com/back to the drawing board for anyone who doesn't know. There will be a link in the description. We say some strange stuff that you're not hearing on here. Yeah. We'd appreciate it. You get the bloopers at the beginning, but they are nothing compared to the bloopers in the middle. Absolute awfulness that goes into the rest. Chaos. So we've got 4 tiers. The first tier is it says dollar. Pretty sure I said it's pounds, but we've got £1 a month. £1 a month.
is where it starts. So that's the coffee runner edition.
You don't even have to keep doing it. You can pay £1 one time and go, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah,
we'd appreciate the quid.
Binge every episode. Every penny that goes into this goes into Theo.
And then enough of you sign up, we can actually start a bit of a community. We can get recommendations going. It'll be awesome.
We can do Q&As.
Q&As, yeah.
Send us in some work and we can critique some plans and some designs. Send us your CV so we can do an episode on how awful architects' CVs are, because I don't think I can use ones that people send me every day in the office. So it starts at £1, works its way through £3, £5 and then £10. We've named them quite humorously and given them some humorous descriptions.
Oh, Phil, you should totally read them out just to make it more appealing to everyone.
Really?
Go on.
Okay, so for £1 you can be called the Coffee Runner.
Hell yeah.
You did it. You passed the interview process. 2 large black coffees, please. I'm not going to read out what's included in these. The Cad Monkey for £3. You are beyond toilet and car park layouts, but could you quickly detail this whole building by the close of play today? Doing the artsy concept for £5 a month. You've proven you can stop a roof being a sieve, and so far all your buildings have stood up. Grab a stylus, some rendering software, and even some watercolours. It's time for some website fodder. And then the £10 a month. Just doing client meetings. You're above designing, you just want breakfast, second breakfast, brunch, dinner, drinks and a car on the business. Let the admin deal with the invoicing, you've got a holiday to book and Patreon subscription to burn money on.
Boom! There we go. So...
I could have read that in such a much better voice. God damn it! You're above designing, you just want breakfast.
You meant to use your director's voice.
A director's voice?
Director of the company, whatever. Anyway, yeah, please, it would make a difference. Anyway, that's all the begging we're going to do for now.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time when we return back to the drawing board.